the woman any support that she needs. And a Wiltshire pub is on the market again for the third time in as many years. The owners of the Barge Inn at Honey Street will be selling it for £1.1 million. But a group of locals are hoping to raise enough money to buy the pub and take it over as a community project. BBC Wiltshire News, it's 6:30.
So coming up this morning, how much is the most expensive round that you've ever bought in a pub? I bet it won't reach £1.1 million. That's exactly what it's going to cost for one community group in the Pewsey area of the county who are trying to buy their pub. It's called the Barge Inn. It's right next to the canal. Beautiful location, beautiful spot, nice building. But it's closed for the third time in as many years. Struggling to keep it open. Previous owners are. One group saying, you know what, we'll take it on. Are they going to be able to do it? We'll find out this morning.
Your voice in your county.
Call free on 08000 283366.
BBC Wiltshire.
And pit your knowledge against the rest of Wiltshire, because we hear quite a lot, don't we, on the news and on the radio about pubs that are closing. There's quite a high rate of them closing at the moment. I was just hearing yesterday that apparently cafes are due to outstrip pubs by 2030, apparently, at the current rates. But you'd have thought, with most of these pubs that close down, you do think with a lot of them, well, they weren't actually doing that well, or they weren't in a good location, or they didn't do good beer or good food or something like that. But there's one pub in the county which was actually doing incredibly well, particularly with the local community. The Barge Inn on Honey Street in Pewsey, near to Pewsey, just around the corner from All Cannings, with the beautiful surroundings of the Pewsey Downs. As you come down through West Kennet and East Kennet, you get into this beautiful part of the Wiltshire countryside. It really is stunning. And it's been closed for the third time in as many years. It just keeps opening, closing, opening, closing. And locals in the area are saying, we love this place. It's a real hub for people to come together. It's right next to the canal. So you get people mooring up their barges and narrowboats and coming in. There's camping round the corner too. But it's actually really struggling to stay open. But I've been to meet Sarah Huggins and Sharon Jarvis, who are leading a group to try and buy the Barge Inn for £1.1 million asking price is what they're after. Are they going to be able to achieve it? Well, I went to meet them to find out.
The community that put the asset of community value together were notified, and we then decided to form a steering group to go for it. But it's a big ask and a big mission. We need to raise the funds, but yeah, we're on it and we're enthusiastic and we're very, very passionate about our pub.
So what ways are you going to be able to raise funds then, do you think?
We've set up a community benefit company, haven't we? We're in the process of doing that and registering it with the FCA. And then we will be selling shares and going to the banks, and hopefully it will come in, yes.
How long a road is this to being able to actually purchase the place?
Well, we've got a deadline. The moratorium's up on the 22nd of July, and we need to be able to put a bid in by that time. We need the banks to take us seriously. We need the company to be in place, which it will be in the next 4 weeks. Yeah, we need to be able to make a serious bid by then, which is not very long at all.
No, it's not very long to be able to get yourself together, is it? No. It's quite a quick turnaround that you've got to do. How likely do you think you are to be able to achieve your aim?
I think it's possible. We just need to get ourselves out there and get as much help as we can.
And how much money do you need to raise for it?
The sale price on the market at the moment is 1.1 million.
Yeah, 1.1 million. That doesn't take into account maintenance costs and running the place as well. It's a lot of money that they need to try and raise for it. Sarah Huggins and Sharon Jarvis there, who've put together this community group and said, we want to try and buy the Barge Inn. And their main reason for it is it's a great local community hub where people come together. It's not just a pub where people go to get drunk. It's a place that really keeps and binds that area around the Pewsey Downs. So it's going to be interesting to see if they're going to be able to raise the money, and we're going to be finding out more a little bit later on this morning about the state of our pubs in the county and about whether they're going to be able to actually get this money together to save it. Centre for people to get together. I know people can camp out the back as well. There we are. But it's been closed for, well, sort of on and off for the last few years. It's been open and closed and open and closed. And now they're saying, look, we need to try and get this open so we can have it as a normal community hub again. So after 7 o'clock this morning, I'm going to take a little walk down the canal towpath in the beautiful surroundings. Apparently, there was a white horse that I could see, but it was so misty and horrible and rainy that we couldn't actually see it. But it's a beautiful area nonetheless. And we're going to be hearing a little bit later on from this community group who are trying to put together the funds in order to buy it. So we'd love to hear this morning from you. Where are your favourite pubs in the county? 08000 28 3366. Wiltshire, and then your message to 81333. That's Wiltshire, and then your message to 81333. Or it's james.thomas@bbc.co.uk if you want to find out more. Let's have a look through some more of the papers then. They don't seem 100% appetising at the moment because it is absolutely chucking it down outside. But as the nights get longer and it gets warmer and the sun comes up a little bit more, I can't think of anything better than just chilling out with a nice beer or a cider or a soft drink or something outside a lovely Wiltshire pub. Well, one in the county seems to tick all the boxes of these beautiful things, but for some reason it's proving very, very difficult to run. It's called the Barge Inn. It's at Honey Street, and it's right next to the Pewsey Down. It's got a beautiful view of one of the white horses. It's, you know, on the road as you come down from West Kennet and East Kennet, you come down the hill there. All Canning's just round the corner, not too far away from Pewsey itself. But it is struggling to stay open. And back in May last year, we spoke to Pietro Cuhomau, who took over the pub a little while ago, and he told BBC Wiltshire's Karen Gardner what his plans were at the time.
I found this place, first of all, a fantastic place to move in with my family and my pets. And I'm restructuring this place. It's going to be fantastic. The Barge remains what it is. On top of these, I have very ambitious plans for this place. What are the limits of this place? A very culturally limited clientele, and the fact that it works seasonally. It works in the summertime, but is practically closed in the winter time. And I want to sort these two problems out. I think this could be interesting for you. So, talking about the clientele, I want this place to be the place for all the people.
So do you see it now that it's... How do you see the clientele as it is?
Yeah, we have to make a very accurate distinction. And this is what I learned in 1 month. Crop circle people, they are absolutely welcome. This is an incredibly, how can I say, this is a sort of icon for them, and I'm very, very happy. I'm honored that I own this place, and I'm also, as a businessman, also happy that so many people come here just to say that they were in the right place. Okay, and I just want to encourage these people to do this. There's another part of the clientele, villagers. They are not here just once in a lifetime or during the summer as tourists. They live here 12 months a year. And I think I have a responsibility to these people. They have expectations from me. And this is exactly what I mean when I say that we have the same mutual interest. This place must be given back to these people.
Pietro Cuomo there, speaking to us in May last year as he took over the Barge Inn near to Pewsey. And, you know, something full of optimism there about what he was going to do with the pub and all this sort of thing. And then we started hearing from locals that, well, it's shut again and the owners have left. And we have actually tried to get in contact with the owners of the Barge Inn, but we haven't actually had a response from them yet. So people in the local community have said, well, we want this place to be open. It's a great hub for us to go to. People use it all the time, particularly on the narrowboats and canal boats and barges. They all come down, people moor up and they can use it as a space, or if they're living nearby, it's a great place to go and meet people as well. So a community group is trying to stump up the money in order to buy it and run it themselves. And I've been to meet Sarah Huggins and Sharon Jarvis, who are leading this group. They want to buy it, but it's going to cost £1.1 million. That's quite a round, isn't it? So we went for a walk down the canal towpath towards the pub. We are right next to the canal here. We can see the brown waters of it. There's a nice long big narrow boat here which is just moored up at the moment on the side with some logs on top of it, and there's another boat to the left hand side of us as well. Beautiful Wiltshire countryside spreading out in front of us, the wonderful undulating green hills there, and right next to me the Barge Inn pub. And if I push the doors, you can't get in because it's locked, it's shut, it's no longer in operation at the moment. And I'm joined by two ladies who are going to try and change all of that. It must be a shame for you to see it looking like this.
It really is. It's very, very sad. Yeah, it's a very, very important place to us. Has been for years and years for our families growing up around here. So, yeah, to see it shut is quite devastating, really.
Why is it so important to you in this area?
It's a community hub, you know. It's where people come to meet friends, families come, children. They've put on, you know, loads of children exhibitions and workshops and things, and we don't have that anymore, and especially not just for the residential community, but the boating community. It's a place for them to all meet up, and they're so farly dispersed now. There isn't anywhere for anyone to go. Now it's closed, so hopefully we can change that.
Yeah, inside it's just a bit of a depressing scene really, because it's all very dark. Can't really see very much in it. If I poke my head in there, absolutely, you know, dead really. Looks like it's closing time in there, but it's been closing time for some while. What was it like when it was open then? What was the atmosphere like inside?
Oh, vibrant. It's a place where there's so much music. Many of our local musicians cut their musical teeth here, including my son. And the campers at the back come down. Lots of families from Swindon used it as a place to be able to get away into the countryside. Really important for children to be able to get out into the rural areas.
Now the canal in front of us, as I was mentioning, there's a long blue narrow boat here, and you live on one yourself. So were there lots of people who travel up and down here and use this as a stopping place as well? I bet you got to meet all sorts of characters inside.
There are lots and lots of characters on the canal. Absolutely, and it is, I think, the most popular place for boaters to stop. It's known far and wide as a place for boaters to come to, isn't it? So yes, it's great fun.
What was your feeling when you found out that it was going to close?
Complete devastation, really. There's nowhere else within walking distance for people to go to meet up. You know, it's just devastated.
Sharon Jarvis there and Sarah Huggins, who are part of this group trying to buy the Barge Inn for £1.1 million. It's a lot of money. And also, you've got to have the running costs as well and the maintenance of the building and all that sort of thing. We're going to be hearing from them a bit later on in the programme about how achievable they think this aim is and how they're going to raise the money as well. If you'd like to find out more about the project, it's the bargehoneystreet.co.uk, the bargehoneystreet.co.uk, or on Facebook. It's Barge Co-operative. They try to raise that money. Thanks for your thoughts on this morning. We've had this text in that says, I applaud the effort to buy the pub, but I'd be careful. It can't be that popular, otherwise it wouldn't close all the time. What's the business plan is the question that's being asked this morning on the text. It's a good point. You know, it wouldn't be closing all the time if it was that popular. I guess it's the seasonal element of it. It's one of those places that you would probably prefer to go to in the summertime, just out in the countryside down by the canal. So that's the kind of argument that it is a seasonal thing, but how are you going to keep it running throughout the winter? Love to get your thoughts this morning, and also we'd love to hear about those pubs that are doing well in the county. Where are your favourites? What makes a good local? Give a shout out to your favourite pub this morning in Wiltshire. 08000 28 3366, 08000 28 3366. I went for an amazing pie at the Roebuck in Marlborough the other week. Oh, this pie was incredible. I wanted